Welcome to Bible Lesson 98. We are going to continue our lesson on Ezra and Nehemiah. So we left off where they laid the foundation. They had a party because that was a big deal, even though some people were rejoicing, but others were weeping because it wasn't as great as that Solomon temple that was built before it was destroyed by the Babylonians. Well, we're going to pick up and we're going to talk about the completion of the temple. So listen carefully and listen to how the Israelite people struggled to get the temple finished.
Chapter 4. The building stopped. Cease rebuilding in that city. Old enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard that the exiles were building the temple of the God of Israel. They came to Zerubbabel and the family heads and said, "We'll help you build. We worship your God the same as you. We've been offering sacrifices to him since Esarhaddon, king of Assyria, brought us here." Zerubbabel, Jeshua, and the rest of the family heads of Israel said to them, "Nothing doing. Building the temple of our God is not the same thing to you as to us. We alone will build for the God of Israel. We're the ones King Cyrus of Persia commanded to do it." So these people started beating down the morale of the people of Judah, harassing them as they built. They even hired propagandists to sap their resolve. They kept this up for about 15 years throughout the lifetime of Cyrus, king of Persia, and on into the reign of Darius, king of Persia. In fact, in the reign of Xerxes, at the beginning of his reign, they wrote an accusation against those living in Judah and Jerusalem. Again later, in the time of Artaxerxes, Bishlam, Mithridath, Tabeel, and their associates wrote regarding the Jerusalem business to Artaxerxes, king of Persia. The letter was written in Aramaic and translated. What follows is written in Aramaic. Rehum, the commanding officer, and Shimshai, the secretary, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes, the king, as follows. From Rehum, the commanding officer, and Shimshai, the secretary, backed by the rest of their associates, the judges and officials over the people of Tripolis, Persia, Erech, and Babylon, Elamites of Susa, and all the others whom the great and honorable Ashurbanipal deported and settled in the city of Samaria and other places in the land across the Euphrates. This is the copy of the letter they sent to him. To King Artaxerxes, from your servants from the land across the Euphrates. We're here to inform the king that the Jews who came from you to us have arrived in Jerusalem and have set about rebuilding that rebellious and evil city. They are busy at work, finishing the walls and rebuilding the foundations. The king needs to know that once that city is rebuilt and the wall completed, they will no longer pay a penny of tribute, tax, or duty. The royal treasury will feel the loss. We're loyal to the king and cannot sit idly by while our king is being insulted. That's why we are passing this information on. We suggest that you look into the court records of your ancestors. You'll learn from those books that that city is a rebellious city, a thorn in the side to kings and provinces, an historic center of unrest and revolt. That's why the city was wiped out. We're letting you know that if that city gets rebuilt and its walls restored, you'll end up with nothing in your province beyond the Euphrates. The king sent his reply to Rehum, the commanding officer, Shimshai, the secretary, and the rest of their associates who live in Samaria and other places beyond the Euphrates. Peace be with you. The letter that you sent has been translated and read to me. I gave orders to search the records, and sure enough, it turns out that this city has revolted against kings time and time again. Rebellion is an old story there. I find that they've had their share of strong kings who have taken over beyond the Euphrates and exacted taxes, tribute, and duty. So do this. Order these men to stop work immediately. Not a lick of rebuilding in that city unless I order it. Act quickly and firmly. They've done enough damage to kings. The letter of King Artaxerxes was read to Rehum and Shimshai, the secretary, and their associates. They lost no time. They went to the Jews in Jerusalem and made them quit work. That put a stop to the work on the temple of God in Jerusalem. Nothing more was done until the second year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
That's what I'm talking about. Take it out.